Nancy Firkins, do you have a good source of definitions to counter the libs? And Katie Turr comments, misleading one-line definitions between Democrat socialism and communism and any other isms they twist to convince liberals to hate MAGA. Yeah, I mean, so the media, so you want to put this in perspective. The media are what we call progressive realists. Progressive realism is a belief system that more or less is rooted in the late 80s, early 90s. It actually, ironically, comes from Francis Fukuyama, who argued for the end of history on a geopolitical level, where he said a liberal international order is inevitable. History is just moving in that direction. So it's a kind of a Hegelian Marxist. I won't get into that, but bottom line, they believe that history naturally and inevitably bends towards a left-wing vision of social justice. History always moves in that direction. So 1994 Gingrich revolt, that was Peter Jennings. Do you remember? He called that Americans having a temper tantrum. In other words, it's temporary. It's temporary, and it'll eventually recede back to normalcy. The Bush presidency, he should never have won. Hanging chads and blah, blah, blah. Trump, that's just because Vladimir Putin interfered in the election. Right? Talking about election integrity. So life is always moving to the left. There are periodic interruptions, but those interruptions are temporary. Life is going to go back to the left. So, and this is the key for the legacy media, you can never be too far left. Because if you're on the side of the left, you're on the side of history. Democrats are always innocent until proven guilty. Good luck trying to prove them guilty. And Republicans are always guilty until proven innocent. Good luck trying to do that. That's the progressive realism. So, the answer to the DSAs, what's the difference between socialism and communism? It's not hard. In the end, socialism has levels of degrees of collectivism and centralization. So you've got a Denmark version and so forth. Those are technically sort of social democracies. They provide the welfare state and all that sort of stuff. That's not what you have operative here. That's not what's going on with DSA. They're not, I mean, that's how Bernie Sanders, and that's again how CNN are going to try to, pacify. All they want is just free healthcare. That's it. They just want free healthcare. They just want Medicare for all. That's it. They just want to take care of the people who are trying to come across the border, not criminalize them. That's it. No, that's not it. The key to communism is Marxism. And Marxism is a dialectic materialism that says dialectic means you've got two sort of opposing forces that kind of play off of each other. There is an oppressor force and there is an oppressed force. That's it. If you don't have those two forces, you don't have Marxism. It's just that simple. That's the dialectic we talk about. You've got an oppressor and you've got an oppressed. You've got a victimizer and you've got a victim. You've got an aggressor and you've got the aggrieved, okay? Central banks continue buying gold at record levels all over the world. Global debt continues to explode. Geopolitical tensions aren't going away. And if those trends haven't changed, then why would the case for owning physical gold and silver? That's one reason why I trust Augusta Precious Metals. So if you'd like to learn more, go to turleybuysgold.com or text Turley to 35052. That's 35052 and request Augusta's free guide. Click on that link below right now. What we saw in Marxism/communism was a universal belief that economics always has, the economic history has formed ultimately two classes. A bourgeois class who own capital and a proletariat class who are slaves, in effect, to that bourgeois. Because the only way they can get money is by working for the bourgeois and doing stuff for the bourgeois. And the bourgeois then hands them out peanuts for all this hard work. And so the solution is to eliminate the bourgeois, replace it with representatives of the workers, the proletariat, who will take the money that just somehow exists out there, that the bourgeois sort of captured like Smaug the dragon in The Hobbit, right? But the gold just exists out there. And what they're going to do is they're going to redistribute all that money to the people. But the key is the only way it works is if you've got that binary, if you've got that dialectic between an oppressor and oppressed. And tell me one sentence that comes out of the mouth of Mamdani that doesn't appeal to that oppressor-oppressed framework. We're going to tax the rich. You don't hear that in Denmark. You don't hear that in Sweden. That's not where they're coming from. It is a bona fide kind of socialist, centralized structure, but that sees everybody as a part of it. We're all going to go. So yes, there are producers there, but but as producers, we're going to make sure you have free healthcare and all that sort of stuff. It's a cooperative I'm not saying I like it, but it's more cooperative. Whereas communism is a battle. It's a fight. It's a clash between an oppressor class and an oppressed class. And what makes these new communists different is that rather than seeing it in terms of money per se, though Mamdani's pushing that with affordability, they're seeing it in terms of culture. There is white supremacy, and Mamdani plays off of this. There's white supremacy, and there's everybody else. There's patriarchy, and there's everybody else. There's cisgender superiority, and there's everybody else. And on and on and on. There's Western civilization, and there's everybody else. There's the racism of Western civilization, and everybody else, of course, never have anything to do with racism whatsoever. That's the frame that then justifies some very, very horrible things carried out in the name of justice. So that's how you can push it away. Bottom line, communism is a binary. It's a dialectic between oppressor and oppressed. That's communism. Sorry, that's not socialism. Socialism is just an economic system or network or structure. Communism is an ideology. And so that's why, in the end, we call them DSAs, but they're communists. They are full-blown communists who see Western civilization as the oppressor that needs to be destroyed from within. That's not socialism. That's communism. That's Marxism. And then if you do not join that morally righteous crusade, then you're part of the problem, and you need to go down with the system as well. So there you go.